Hello, this is Anthony Burt, and you're in my writing den up in the attic. Now, I'm a children's author. I'm with Guppy Books, and my book will be out later next year in the summertime. It will be about animals and lighthouses and pirates and adventure. I'm wearing my lighthouse themed t-shirt especially today, just to help that along the way, because I don't yet have a cover I can show you about what it's going to look like, but hopefully soon later in the year we will. Now, I'm still in the process of editing it. I'm going to talk to you about a few things to do with publishing and writing today that I've been doing. I'm going to do a reading from Treasure Island. Yes, if you're a fan of Robert Louis Stevenson's book. We were going to look at Long John Silver in a minute, because that's one of the inspirations for my novel, and it kind of ties in sneakily with Treasure Island. And also, importantly, a writer's food. Now, at the moment, as opposed to just biscuits, I do tend to like a good one of these mini roll snacks. Hang on. What was that you're saying to me? You asked me what? Can I get one of these entirely in my mouth at one go? I'll tune in a moment to find out, eh? First of all though, so let's talk about bridging scenes. Now, not so spoken about, generally speaking, when you're going through editing your novel. And as a writer, you think you've said what you wanted to say to the reader. Yeah, you think you've created a message or a next part of the dialogue or the plot, but it actually hasn't come out how you would like, and the editor has said to you, you need to make this clearer. So what I've been doing is I've actually been using an actual pen, as opposed to a laptop, to write a bridging scene, an actual piece of paper, which is basically kind of realigning two scenes, providing more information for the reader, but also more suspense. And generally speaking, kind of it bridges two gaps together of two parts of the story that you thought you told, but you needed somebody else who's an editor, very, very brilliant editor like Bella, to show you that you hadn't actually said what you thought you had said. So that's what I've been doing, one of the things I've been doing. That's gone really well, and what I'll do is I will then type that up onto the laptop at a later point, and then I'll probably go through a more of a process of editing it then to make sure it fits nicely into the actual novel, the draft that I'm doing at the moment. Now, all writers tend to read a lot, which is very good. You must read a lot. I've read lots. I also reviewed children's books a lot. One of the things I loved when I was little is this amazing book. Now, it's a gorgeous copy with a nice, if you can see that, lovely gold, can you see that? Gold rim, sprayed pages there, lovely, of Treasure Island. I got this from America when I went over there to visit, and it's got lots of lovely pictures of Jim Hawkins and different characters in the novel. Now, if you're not aware of Treasure Island, it is the classic pirate novel. Many people think that Long John Silver was kind of the archetypal pirate, if you like, for introducing to people to how pirates should be. One-legged, bit dastardly, looks a bit like me with a beard. That kind of thing. Maybe a ring in the ear. Oh, I used to have one of those, but that's gone anymore. That's a secret thing. I didn't tell you that. Okay, don't tell anybody else I used to have an earring. All right. Definitely not a pirate. Okay, so yeah. But the thing is with Treasure Island, of course, is that when we first meet Long John Silver, which I find interesting, is that he is a very nice seeming person, and kind of very well spoken, happy and delightful, as opposed to the pirate that we get introduced to at the start of Treasure Island, which I personally love, which is the real grimy kind of my lover type pirate, a bottle of rum and all that. And that isn't Long John Silver. So what I'm going to do is to show you, which is my inspirations for writing some of my books. I'm just going to read you several paragraphs from each one to show you the difference of what Robert Louis Stevenson does. Now, he first introduces Long John Silver on chapter 8. I'm just going to have a drink of water before I start reading. Okay, cheers. And don't forget, this is to come afterwards. Right, this is a treat for later on. So, chapter 8. But we've got one of those lovely dangly ribbony type things as a bookmark, which I love. Aren't they good? So this is our first meeting of Long John Silver. So, ready? As I was waiting, a man came out of the side room. At a glance, I was sure he must be Long John. His left leg was cut off close by the hip, and under the left shoulder he carried a crutch, which he managed with wonderful dexterity, hopping about upon it like a bird. He was very tall and strong, with a face as big as a ham, plain and pale but intelligent and smiling. Indeed, he seemed in the most cheerful spirits, whistling as he moved about among the tables with a merry word or a slap on the shoulder for the more favoured of his guests. Now, to tell you the truth, from the very first mention of Long John Silver in Squire Trelawney's letter, I had taken a fear in my mind that he might prove to be the one-legged sailor whom I had watched for so long at the old Benbow pub. But one look at the man before me was enough. I had seen the captain and black dog and the blind man Pew, and I thought I knew what a buccaneer was like, a very different creature, according to me, from this clean and pleasant-tempered landlord. So there we are. That's the first introduction of Long John Silver as a very clean-shaven, nice man running a pub. This is opposed to the first page of Treasure Island, which I love, which is the introduction of a much more roguish pirate, which I'm going to read you now. Now, watch this comparison. I remember him as if it was yesterday, as he came plodding to the inn door, his sea chest following behind him in a hand barrow. A tall, strong, heavy, nut-brown man, his tarry pigtail falling over the shoulders of his soiled blue coat, his hands ragged and scarred with black, broken nails, and the sabre cut across one cheek, a dirty, livid white. I remember him looking round the cove and whistling to himself as he did so, and then breaking out in that old sea song that he sang so often afterwards. 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. In the high old tottering voice that seemed to have been tuned and broken at the capstan bars. Then he rapped on the door with a bit of stick like a handspike that he carried, and when my father appeared, called roughly for a glass of rum. This, when it was brought to him, he drank slowly like a connoisseur, lingering on the taste and still looking about him at the cliffs and up at our signboard. Now there you go, that's two different definitions of what I would say a pirate could be seen as, and it's this kind of thing that really inspires me to write my books. You might have other books that you love that inspire you, and that's fantastic, whatever you've got. So I think it's just good to sort of see how writers go about doing that. Okay, so next thing, if you're still all with me, I am now thinking what we could do is talk about the most important part, which is, of course, how do you get through a writing session and to feel really good about it. Now, of course, I personally use digestive biscuits, and at the moment I have been really badly addicted to these, so chocolate mini rolls. Now, I said to you at the beginning that it's an important thing to keep your energy up when you're writing, and I find one way to do that is to eat quite a lot of chocolate before you start writing, and then the E numbers and everything else kicking afterwards. So you challenge me to get this in one go. Do you think I could do that? Yeah, shall we? There we go. And that is Anthony saying thank you very much for listening from my writing den. Take care, bye!